Hi everyone, welcome to this week's module where we'll be digging into conflict theory, especially the version developed by Karl Marx, kind of the father of conflict theory. This theory helps us to understand why inequality exists, how power is distributed, and how real social change might happen. This is a contrast to last week's discussion of structural functionalism, which focused on how social change could be disruptive and focused more on social harmony or social equilibrium. Instead, we're going to be focusing on social change. Let's start with this week's learning goals. First off, you're going to challenge your own and others' assumptions about a social issue. And you're going to ask thoughtful questions that dig deeper into what we take for granted. Before jumping into the assignments, here's a quick breakdown of the key ideas. Karl Marx, like Durkheim, looked at society from a big picture perspective. You might know it as a macro perspective. But unlike many thinkers of his time, Marx didn't think that individual thoughts or choices could fully explain the world around us. He believed that our lives are shaped by the systems and history we're born into. One of his most famous quotes puts it like this: "Men make their own history, but they do not make it just as they please. They do not make it under circumstances chosen by themselves, but under circumstances directly encountered, given, and transmitted from the past." In short, we do make choices, but we don't choose the world we're born into. Marx wanted people, especially workers, to see how their lives were shaped by powerful forces and to wake up from what he called false consciousness. That means realizing that the system you live in might be tricking you into thinking things are fair when they aren't. Marx also talked about something called the base and superstructure of the economy, of society, rather, I should say. The base and superstructure of society. The base of society is the economy, factories, resources, and the relationships between the powerful and the powerless. The superstructure is everything built on top of that: laws, culture, political systems, media. He wrote, "It is not the consciousness of men that determines their existence, but their social existence that determines their consciousness." This is also termed materialism. So it's not just that we think our way into freedom. Our ideas are shaped by the world around us, especially by the economic systems we're living under. Still, Marx didn't believe people were helpless. He believed that once we became aware of how the systems work, we could take action to change it. So when we say that social existence shapes consciousness, we're talking about a two-way street. Yes, structures shape us, but awareness gives us power. Now that you've gotten the big picture, be sure to read these materials before you start doing your discussion assignment or the other assignment we're working on this week. First, chapters 10 and 13 from Contemporary Sociological Theory. And then the article Heuristic Models in Marxian Theory, which helps explain some of the tougher parts of Marx's theories. You'll need these readings to complete this week's assignments. Let's talk about those assignments. First, the discussion post. Make sure to include at least one reference, even if it's just the readings for the week. Use APA format and remember to respond to 2 of your classmates by Sunday at 11:59 p.m. Second, the podcast assignment. You'll be recording a 1.5 to 2 minute MP3 describing the film that you're using for your final sociological analysis. Also includes speaker notes, which is just a word-for-word transcript of what you say. You can use software similar to what I'm using right now, and it will do a transcript for you. Now, about the tech part. I don't care how you create the MP3 as long as you do it. You can follow the older Audacity instructions, which were written about 10 to 15 years ago, near as I can tell, and haven't been changed since, and which I inherited when I taught this course again. Or you can use one of these easier tools. Online voice recorder. Vocaloo is a second alternative. Or smartphone apps. Once your file is ready, upload it to Brightspace in the assigned area. Now, I'm also reposting a video I made at the beginning of class, which will explain alternatives to Audacity. That's it for this week. Let me know if you have any questions about Marx, the readings, or how to submit your audio. I'm looking forward to hearing your ideas and your podcasts. Have a great week.